what is general purpose cathode ray oscilloscope? So I'm going to discuss about special purpose oscilloscopes which are used for various applications. So these are special purpose oscilloscopes. So we will scopes just by including few additional blocks to the traditional oscilloscope which we have discussed previously. Special purpose oscilloscopes, these are classified into four main categories: oscilloscope, dual phase oscilloscope, sampling oscilloscope, and digital storage oscilloscope. So first we are going to discuss what is dual beam oscilloscope. Oscilloscope. So this is the block diagram of dual beam oscilloscope. So here the name suggests us dual beam. That means it is going to use two beams to display signals on the screen of CRT. So here dual beam oscilloscope consists of two electron guns for the generation of two voltage waveforms on the screens at a time together, and it consists of two channels. So these channels are present in the vertical section. So these two channels consist of the following blocks. So those blocks which make a channel are nothing but pre-amplifier and attenuator stage, delay line, vertical amplifier, and a set of vertical deflection plates. So these four. Similarly, we have another channel, so which is present in the dual beam oscilloscope. So here at the first section, in the vertical section, we have two channels. So one is used to give the input A, another one is used to give the input B. So here the purpose of pre-amplifier and attenuator is whenever the input signal is applied, so if the input signal is weak, it is going to be amplified to strengthen its voltage. And then attenuator stage is used to maintain constant impedance, so for all the range of frequencies, so that attenuator is able to vary the magnitude of input voltage, so for maintaining constant impedance for all the range of frequencies. And then after the stage of signal is given to delay line stage. So in the delay line is going to produce some amount of time delay such that in the horizontal section, the speed generator is able to synchronize the horizontal deflection plates. The line, so the signal is handed over to the vertical amplifier section. So in the vertical amplifier section, so the signal is further amplified and boosted well, and after that it is given to the a set of vertical deflection plates, so where the position of the beam can be adjusted towards either downwards or upwards. Similarly, we have another channel available which is nothing but channel B. Blocks are used for strengthening signal and handing over to vertical deflection plates. So in the dual beam oscilloscope, we are going to use two electron guns to produce two voltage waveforms on the screen. Additional cathode ray oscilloscope. So we have only one section present in the horizontal section. Those are constituted by the trigger circuit, sawtooth waveform generator, horizontal amplifier. Since time is same for both channels, so we have only one set of horizontal plates available in dual beam oscilloscope. So here, in order to initiate the trigger circuit. So we can use available inputs present in the, those are nothing but channel A input, channel B input, as well as external triggering line or line input. So the any of these can initiate the trigger circuit operation. It's a step signal. So it is given to be, the sawtooth waveform is going to be generated to, it's amplified with the help of horizontal amplifier. And then this horizontal amplifier connects horizontal plates, so where the electron position can be moved either towards left side or right side is with the horizontal plates. So once the position has been adjusted, so then it is allowed to strike the phosphor screen, so where it is going to produce voltage waveforms simultaneously at the same time. So that is the advantage of dual beam oscilloscope. So mainly dual beam oscilloscope is used of two different signals and to analyze the differences between them at the same time. We are going to discuss about dual trace oscilloscope. Main difference between dual beam and dual trace oscilloscope is that, so it consists of only single electron gun. So which is electron beam into two. Okay. So two electron guns. So that we can at the same time. But in dual trace channel available in the vertical section. So we have only one main vertical amplifier on the screen. So, but not simultaneously. So, at the time period T1, we are going to get the channel A input on the screen. At the time period T2, we are going to get the channel B input on the, so such that the comparison can be done with the help of two different diagram of dual trace oscilloscope. So, it consists of the input and then delay line. So, after that, in another trace, we have same pre-amplifier and attenuator stage, which is connected to the delay line. So these two blocks are added at different times by using one electronic range switch. So here we have this channel A input and channel B based on the time. So at some the switch is going to connect the first channel input to the vertical amplifier to adjust the position. So in the time period T2, channel B input is going to be connected to the electronic switch to the vertical amplifier to adjust the position of the second channel input. So similarly here we have only one set of vertical deflection plates as well as one set of horizontal deflection plates. So one does its work, so it handovers, it connects that input signal to the vertical deflection plate so that the position control moves towards down or up, adjust the synchronization with the horizontal deflection plate such that it will adjust the beam position towards either left or right. So at the time period T1, you are going to find one of the channels output on the screen, which is nothing but one trace of the oscilloscope. So in period T2, we are going to obtain the channel B input on the screen. Okay, another trace of the oscilloscope. So this is how dual trace oscilloscope will give us two traces of two traces of the, but not at the same time. So but at different times. So that is the main difference between the dual beam and dual trace oscilloscope. It's about sampling oscilloscope. So here sampling oscilloscope is used for analyzing very high frequency and very. So here this works on the principle of Strober's light. That means, so whenever the input signal is applied to the sampling oscilloscope, so it is going to sample the signal and it is stretched over the time period, so and then amplified relatively, so whose bandwidth is modified and improved, and after that it is going to be reconstructed once again on the screen. That means before it is going to display its input on the screen, so first the signal is divided into samples, so nearly 1000 samples are used for constructing the real continuous wave on the screen. And here is 1 by 10th of the input signal. Input frequency is 100 megahertz. So in the sampling frequency, so 1 by 10 into 100, that means 10 megahertz. Going to sample the signal and then it is displayed on the screen. Here if you look at the block diagram of sampling oscilloscope, so it consists of mainly the delay line at the first stage, and then we have diode sampling gates, and then capacitor element, and then we have an amplifier, and here generate sampling pulse, use one ramp generator and staircase generator, so which are going to be compared in the comparator. Okay, after that sampling pulse can be generated, which is used to start the open diode sampling gate. So after that, converted into continuous waveform. So the in the vertical section, vertical amplifier is present to amplify the reconstructed signal. Similarly, in the horizontal section, horizontal amplifier is present to the horizontal section. So here, first of all, the input signal is handed over to the delay line to provide state. So till the sawtooth waveform, okay. So starts the operation of the horizontal amplifier in the horizontal section. So after that, in delay, so the signal, the input signal is handed over to the diode sampling gate. Diode sampling gate, the sampling process is done. So the continuous signal is going to be sampled. So this is done with the help of gate control device. So here the trigger pulse is generated, so which is going to start the operation of ramp waveform generator as well as the staircase waveform generator. So if the staircase generator output and ramp waveform generator output is fed to the comparator, so where these two waveforms are going to be compared. So if the voltages of these two are same, so then the comparator generates a gate control signal. Okay, so this gate control signal provides the sampling pulses. So these sampling pulses are operation of diode sampling gate. So where samples are taken. So after that, these samples are stored in capacitive storage for certain amount of time. But these are going to be reconstructed. So on, then it is handed over to the vertical sorry, it is amplifier. So after that, after strengthening the signal, so it is its vertical deflection plate for adjusting the position. So here in the horizontal section, similarly, state case generator, okay, in the horizontal section. Whenever, so first one sample has been taken, so immediately resets, it has one reset pulse. So once the sample has been taken, so it is going to take another sample by resetting the state as waveform generator. So in such a way, thousands of samples can be taken and then reconstructed and then amplified and then going to produce the signal on the screen of so here, since this sampling improves the bandwidth, so that means we are going to convert very high frequency signal into values of audio frequency range. So since it operates low frequency range, it has better so such that we can analyze the signal very quickly. So though the signal is very fast, it is moving very quickly. So the sampling controls the operation of high frequency bandwidth such that it is easily analyzed on the screen of CRT. So here we have the input signal waveform. So on the sample pulses, okay, so start the operation of diode sampling rate. It is going to be sampled. So after the state case waveform is going to be advanced. We will obtain different samples together. We have another special purpose oscilloscope that is nothing but digital storage oscilloscope. So the name itself suggests that so here we are going to store the signal before it is going to be displayed. So the main advantage of digital storage oscilloscope is that it's in the previous sections. So we have discussed different types of oscilloscopes for the samples, but here we have memory available in the digital storage oscilloscope. Available present in the digital storage oscilloscope, and then before we displayed on the fast part screen, so be able to read out the value, the different waveforms on the screen. So here we have different blocks available. Those are nothing but pre-amplifier and attenuator stage. And then we have one control logic. So for the pre to provide the input. So under we have a trigger circuit to start the operation of logic. Okay, this control logic is going to provide the signals for different blocks. So the control logic is used to start the operation of sample and hold circuit, analog to digital converter, memory, and then digital to analog converter. So the control signal is received from the attenuator stage. So it is going to be sampled and hold. And after that it is digitized with the help of analog to digital converter. So what is the advantage of analog to digital converter? To convert continuous analog signal so into digital values which consists of only either 0 or 1. So now into the memory, that means where the digital values are get stored in the memory. So whose operation is going to be initialized control logic, and then output of the memory. So the stored value present in the memory are going to be applied to the digital to analog converter. Because whenever we need the input signal to be displayed on the screen. So it is necessary to convert again digital values into analog continuous waveform. So that is why after the memory stage we have one digital to analog. All the digital signals into continuous waveform, and then it is amplified with the help of vertical amplifier. Similarly, in the horizontal section also we have digital to analog converter, so which converts the samples back to the continuous waveform and hand over it to the horizontal amplifier. So this horizontal and vertical amplifiers are connected to the one set of deflection plates, vertical deflection plates and horizontal. The position is synchronized, so with respect to the screen. So once the electron beam position is adjusted, so these electron beams strike the fast pass screen such that they run the fast pass. So here the main advantages over other oscilloscopes is that, so the digital storage oscilloscope has memory in that, such that whenever we require the signal to be displayed on the screen, so it is directly read out from the memory. So instead of separately, we have storage, so that samples can be stored in the memory, so that easily they can be displayed on the screen. So that is the main advantage of digital storage oscilloscope. After that, we are going to discuss about the probes for cathode ray oscilloscope. So these probes are nothing but conducting wires. So okay, used to establish the connection between the circuit under the test and as well as the measuring instrument. So we have the following characteristics needed for CRO probes. So those are nothing but they should have high impedance and they should cover range of frequencies. So we have two different types of probes available. So those are nothing but passive probes and active probes. So these connecting probes so can be passive type if they contain only passive elements. So when they contain active elements like transistors, so they are known as active. So here we have at the input stage we have one variable capacitor along with the resistor, and after that we have input to the CRO, and at the CRO stage we have another resistor R2 and another capacitor C2. So these resistors and capacitors are nothing but the passive elements. So these are known as the passive probes. So whenever the capacitor C1 wanted to balance the bridge, so we will be able to obtain the help of passive probes. We have another probes available, those are known as active probes. So if the probes contain at the probe head as active elements like transistors and FETs, so those are nothing but active probes. So here the advantage of FET source follower is nothing but it offers high impedance, it stops the loading effects of on the signal. So similarly after that we have one BJT emitter follower circuit. So for providing impedance matching between axial cable and to the CRO signal. So now we have another resistor and capacitor. So which is same as like passive probes, but only at the probe tip. So we have active component source follower and BJT emitter follower. So these are the different types of probes available for establishing the connection between CRO and the test circuit. And then we are going to find the measurements by using cathode ray oscilloscope. So it is possible to determine amplitude, time period, and frequency with the help of cathode ray. Discuss the procedure now, how we are going to do that. So measurement of amplitude. So we know that CRO is able to display the voltage signal as a function of time on it. So we can measure the amplitude simply by varying the number of divisions that cover in the voltage signal in the vertical direction by varying the volt per division knob vertical section. So whenever we vary volt per division knob, so we will be able to calculate the amplitude with the help of the formula A is equal to N. So here A is nothing but the amplitude of the signal which is displayed on the screen, and J is nothing but the value of volt per division present in the vertical section, and N is the number of divisions that cover the signal. So similarly we can find out the time period with the help of CRO. So by using the same procedure, but here we need to adjust the time divisions per knob. Okay, the time for divisions knob, so which is present in the horizontal section. So CRO voltage signal as a function of time, and then if we vary the number of divisions that cover one complete cycle of voltage signal horizontal direction, so simply by varying the time for division knob which is present in the CRO panel, so then using the formula T equal to K into N. T is the time period of the signal per division value, so present in the horizontal section, and N is the number of values of horizontal section. Measure the frequency also. As the time period and frequency are related together, frequency is reciprocal of time period. So mathematically F is equal to 1 by T. So we can find the frequency by following simply two steps. So first for divisions, and then find out the number of values covered on the horizontal section. So multiply the time per division by the number of horizontal divisions covered, able to obtain the time period value. So now if you take the reciprocal of the time period of the periodic signal, so we can measure the frequency of the signal. This is how we can take the measurements with the help of CRO. So hope you have understood what I have discussed now. So if you have any watching.